Yeah, it's mindset cafe, we all about that mindset. Gotta stay focused, never settle for less. It's all in your head, how you think you manifest. So get ready to rise, cause we about to be the best. Gotta switch it up, gotta break the old habits. Get your mind right, turn your dreams into habits. No negative vibes, only positive.
If someone can control your reaction, they control you. Most people lose power the same way. They react fast. They talk too much. They get emotional. They try to, quote unquote, win the moment. Then they pay for it later. So here's a little thesis for you, right? Reaction is impulse. Restraint is strategy. Silence is leverage. So today we're going to talk about the power of not reacting, because the person who controls their reaction controls the outcome. But welcome back to another episode of the Mindset Cafe podcast. It's your boy, Devin Gonzalez, and this episode is not about being passive. It's not about being a doormat, and it is about control, right? Because control is power, and most people think power is loud. It's not. Power is calm. Power is slow. Power is measured. And in a world that rewards outrage and instant replies, your ability to pause is honestly a competitive advantage. So today I'm giving you the rules to the game, right? Not just some vibes and some, oh, this is what I think. Like, this is the rules to you growing in business, growing in your relationships, and handling pressure, right? So let's get after it. You have to think that the reaction economy we live in, right? Reaction is rewarded. Outrage gets clicks, instant replies get attention, news cycles are built to trigger you, social media is built to bait you, and most people live in this stimulus response mode. Something happens, they react. A text, a comment, a look, a tone, maybe a post, and boom, emotion. They confuse speed with strength, right? Fast response feels powerful. It's not. It's surrender, because you didn't choose it. You got pulled into it. The real power starts where reaction ends, right? Reaction is emotional surrender. So here's the rule for you. Like, reaction gives away some of your leverage, because if someone can make you angry on command, you're not in control. They are, right? You gotta think, anger baiting, work politics, relationship triggers, online arguments, it's all the same pattern. It's all the same thing, right? They poke you, you bite, right? Then you look emotional, they look calm, and calm wins. The calm leader versus the reactive manager, who do you think gets respect? Not the loud one, not the fast one, the controlled one, right? Your reaction is your weakness on display. That's why smart people try to pull it out of you. There's a biology of restraint, right? And I'm gonna make this simple for you. When you react emotionally, your brain gets stupid, like, to put it in layman's terms, right? And that's not an insult. That's just how the body works, right? Stress hits, your heart rate spikes, your thinking gets narrowed, right? Your mindset gets narrowed, and you go into fight or flight mode. You start to say things you don't mean. You make moves you can't undo. So give yourself a rule or a thing to basically help solve this, right? And one rule or one law that you could give yourself is a 10-second pause, right? And a 10-second pause, it can prevent a 10-year consequence in some situations, right? 10 seconds, that's it. And I've used this myself, right? When all of a sudden, I got that Cuban short temper, you know, that Cuban blood in me, you know, thanks Pops. But what I've learned is that, like, my initial emotional response doesn't always give me the outcome I wanted. So what did I start doing? I took a beat, and I took a second, and I processed it, right? In that pause, it allowed me to calmly think through, why did it make me mad? Why did it annoy me? Why did I get that emotional response before addressing it? Because if I would have just addressed it right out the gate, I would have looked essentially emotional, right? That pause restores your authority, and that pause restores your choice to react how you want to react or how you want to be received, right? So choice is the power. Silence has a psychological power as well. Realize that silence is a leverage, because silence creates uncertainty, and uncertainty makes other people fill the gap, right? With either, maybe let's say in business, like negotiations, arguments, business deals, right? Even difficult tasks. The person who speaks first often loses the advantage because they reveal need. They will reveal fear. They'll reveal weakness. If you stay silent, the other person shows their hand more times than not. They'll talk too much, they'll overshare, they'll over-explain, then they negotiate against themselves, right? Because even though silence is seen as awkward moments, silence is not awkward. It is a tool. So use it. You have to think detachment versus suppression, right? The important point is that not reacting is not suppressing something. Suppression is stuffing it down and telling yourself you're going to deal with it later. That creates resentment. That leaks later, as we talked about in the last episode, right? Detachment is different. Detachment is seeing the emotion, feeling the emotion, without becoming it or letting it surface. You can feel the anger, believe me, I know, and still choose your next move. You can feel insulted and feel it, process it, and still stay calm, right? So the rule for yourself is like, you can feel everything without reacting to anything, right? Feeling is human, right? It's inevitable, but reaction is optional. I'll say that again. Feel everything without reacting to anything. Feeling is part of being human, but the reaction part of it, it's all optional, right? The strongest person in the room is usually the calm one, because calm signals control. Calm body language, controlled tone, no urgency or anxiousness, right? Slow response means they thought it through, they processed it. It also shows and conveys that you don't need to prove anything, right? Think elite negotiators, right? Think special operators or seasoned CEOs, right? They don't rush, they don't flinch, they don't perform. Because the truth, like, composure is intimidating, because most people can't do it. Most people are emotional. Most people are easy to pull, meaning pull that emotion out of them. So when you don't react, you stand out. When you don't react, you stand out. So the reality for you to realize is that every conflict doesn't deserve your energy. Not every message needs a reply. Not every insult needs a defense. Not every disagreement needs correction, right? Realize sometimes a disagreement, it's like, or if you know something is not right, it's like, let the clowns have the circus. But if you are the king or queen and you get into this disagreement, now a king or queen in the circus is just another clown, right? Most people react because their ego wants the last word, but the last word sometimes is cheap, right? Results are expensive. So your power move, sometimes the most powerful statement is none at all, because silence tells them, I'm not playing this game. I said what I said, it is what it is. So think of the long game advantage, right? Reaction is very short term. You have to have a strategy. Strategy is long term. If you react fast, you may win, quote unquote, the moment, but you lose trust, you lose respect, you may lose reputation. Calm consistency builds trust because people know what they'll get from you. Not drama, not a mood swing, but a stable leader, right? And that stability compounds in business, in relationships, in leadership, right? Restraint builds leverage in business, right? In business, essentially, silence increases your perceived value. High value people aren't overly available. Controlled communication signals confidence, and scarcity increases your demand. People want to get that appointment with you. They want to have that sit down with you, right? For example, the executive who takes 24 hours to respond versus the person who responds in 30 seconds emotionally. Who looks like their time is more valuable? Not the fast one, but the measured one, right? But also the rule for that is speed is for emergencies, not for ego, right? And at the same time, the other rule to that I've learned is like when you respond in 30 seconds right off the bat in emotionally, it's like you look like you're always available. So now they expect you to respond at that same frequency, right? And now you are trading your time because that's the most valuable thing. You need to control that and protect that. The real battle is ego versus discipline. And honestly, to be honest, the urge to react is ego. You want to be right. You want to be heard. You want to defend your image. You want to win. And discipline chooses influence over ego. Discipline says, I don't need to win this moment. I need to win the outcome. Because if your ego drives your mouth, your life will pay the bills, right? And sometimes it is a skill, right? It's not a personality to pause, to stay silent, right? It's not a personality, it's training. Restraint is a muscle, and it takes muscle memory. You build it. So here's some tools for you, right? Tool 1, take 3 breaths, right? Take 3 breaths before you speak. Not 1, 3. Someone says something, you want to react, 3 deep breaths. You don't need to be over dramatic with the breaths, just 3 nice calm breaths. Tool number 2, delayed response rule, especially in writing. Text, emails, DMs. If you're heated, wait, right? Leave it unread. Leave it, remark it unread, right? Wait 30 minutes. Let it settle. Let the emotion fade, right? Even better if it's at night, wait till the next morning. Tool number 3, ask a clarifying question instead of counterattacking. What I mean by that is, what do you mean by that? Or what's the outcome you want here, right? Can you explain that more to me? The 4th tool is, practice stillness. And that's a daily thing, right? Try taking a walk with no music. Sit in silence for 5 minutes. Let your nervous system learn calm, right? If you can't control yourself in silence, you won't be able to control yourself in conflict, right? But at the same time, like when should you react, right? Because balance does matter. Not reacting does not mean weak. It just means you're intentional. You can react, or you should react, when a boundary is crossed, when someone is being harmed, a moral line is hit, high stake moment needs an action, right? But that's wisdom. Not reacting is power. Intentional action is leadership. So don't be passive, be precise. So here's a reframe for you, right? Reaction is impulse, restraint is strategy, and silence is leverage, which all equals control is power, right? So again, I'll say that for you. Reaction is impulse. Restraint is strategy. While silence is a leverage, and that leverage is control, and control is power, right? So I just want to close with this. The person who controls their reaction controls the outcome. The person who controls their reactions controls the outcome. So your challenge today is simple. I want you to pick one of the rules and apply it for the next 7 days, right? So the ones that we discussed was the first one being the three breaths rule before you respond. Second one being the no emotional texts or responses. Delay it for at least 30 minutes if it's in writing. Third one being in conflict, ask a clarifying question before you make a statement, right? Do that for 7 days. One of them, right? Track it, because if you don't track it and see what the result was, you can't improve it. Most people will keep reacting because it feels good. But I promise you, winners pause, and they do this because it works. So I hope that helps. Make sure you guys try one of the three rules, either the three breaths, wait 30 minutes before you respond in writing, email, text, or whatever the case may be, or the third one, ask a clarifying question. Simple. But I hope this helped you guys and gave you guys a tool that you guys can utilize so that you guys can start to hone in and control your own emotional intelligence. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys on the next one.
No negative vibes, only positive thoughts. Just in the game of life, mindset causes shots. Got my mind on the prize, I can't be distracted. I stay on my grind, no time to